Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam, I also go by Ruby T, and today is, I'm doing post-comms for a match that Gemma and I played against Bubblehulk in VBA. Gemma and I drafted the team together this year. Like each season when there's a double season going on, I always try and do a team with Gemma. This season's criteria, as some of you may know, was blue Pokemon. So basically Gemma only picked blue Pokemon that she liked, including a couple of blue shiny Pokemon. No prizes for guessing that one of them is Rapidash. And basically, yeah, so she gave me the list of Pokemon that we could draft, and we sat down together on draft day, and we made a cool little plan, and we got a pretty cool team, to be honest with you. I quite like the team. I'm sure you'll see it throughout the season. Unfortunately, I don't have the time these days to do a whole, like, team video, and yeah, anyway, whatever, no one really cares. We're boring everyone, Sam, shut up. So, yeah, as I say, week one, we're in the Johto division, which I don't think anyone would take any disrespect in saying is probably the slightly less strong division of the two. I don't envy the guys over in Kanto, I'm not going to lie. However, it doesn't mean that the division is not full of strong coaches, and we pulled a strong one out the hat first week. So we got Bubblehulk. My record against Bubble was interesting. The first time we played in VBA Season 2, when I had the dice roll team, it was a really close game. I think I should have won, but I kind of got a crit or something on my coughing, like EVO-like coughing, and he took it away from me. The second time we played was again a really close set in UDL last season, but he beat me again, deservedly so, outplayed me, and then the third time we played was in quarterfinals of the UDL last season, and again it was another 3-set game. All of them have been 3-set games. And I just pipped him with a double Mawile Protect to, like, I can't remember if it was to stall out a Trick Room or to allow me to get off Trick Room and still have some offense left. I honestly can't remember, but yeah, it kind of doesn't matter. Anyway, it's always been close. We kind of have a losing record. So as you can see, he brought Scrafty, Aromatisse, Tangrowth, Dragalge, Metagross, and Clawitzer. I was terrified this week of the Metagross. I felt like it did really well into my team, and I just had no idea what sort of speed control method he was going to go for, right? So until about the last few hours, I had Whimsicott lined up in the team, but I decided even if I did have Whimsicott, he would have had the ability to fake out, Tailwind with Crobat. So if he wanted to go faster, it just so happened this week I felt it was probably 1 week where he could go faster than me, so I ditched it, and I added in Vikavolt. And I won't lie, when I saw this team come out, I thought, oh shit, Scrafty's here. That's bad for missing out Whimsicott. But anyway, you know, for the rest of the team, Vikavolt actually looked kind of good. So, yeah. We'll jump into game one. I won't lie to you straight away. This is an absolutely, incredible set. I'm sorry for, the really fast music. I thought I'd speed this up a little bit because sometimes in post-comms I think you'd better with the mouse sped up a little bit. But I didn't take the music out, I'm lazy. And I had to record this on my laptop because Gemma and I played together. So Gemma had the controls, and I had... I gave her a little bit of advice along the way. And... yeah, so seeing this lead first up, I was kind of happy for him to have Trick Room up if he wanted to. He withdraws the Aromatisse, however, and goes into Dragalge. Now, interestingly, I don't have a psychic move on the Bronzong, even though it's weakness policy. In hindsight, it would have been really helpful for this match. The Tangrowth obviously has some special defense investment. I am max special attack Bronzong, and I'm modest, so I kind of felt I was going to be doing more. Now, this start to this game is like cagey as fucking balls, right? It's so cagey because neither of us wants to overcommit. No one wants to Dynamax. No one wants to be put in a position where they can't come back from. My kind of plan here was to think, I saw that damage, and my initial thought was maybe this is AV Tangrowth. So I felt that I was maybe safe from Sleep Powder. However, I was not correct, and Meowstic got put to sleep. However, with light screen up, I felt in this situation, to be perfectly honest, I felt pretty safe. I didn't feel like there was any real danger. I mean, that's a super effective hit, and we're taking like, what, 30%, something like that? Anyway, triggers our weakness policy. Shadow Ball goes off into the Tangrowth and does a really nice chunk, and we get a special defense drop, which isn't particularly relevant. Only so much in that I felt, again, in this situation, I felt like Bubble had to maybe switch out this Tangrowth, because if he misses a Sleep Powder and Tangrowth goes down, he's in trouble. So I decided to go for a read and go for a Trick Room. I did go for the read, and I was wrong. He didn't switch out. He used Brick Break, which was pretty annoying. especially considering this Shadow Ball comes out here. However, Bronzong is so good that it survives. Now, coming up in this turn, I know he has to switch Tangrowth out now, right? He knows I've got Vaporeon in the back, and Tangrowth is such a good support piece that I felt there's no way it can stay in here. So, and also with Bronzong at low health, I have no means of getting recovery on it, so I figured I might as well just send my strongest attack out. And if he switches into Aromatisse, then that would be really, really good, and we could probably get in a decent position to kind of like win out this game. So that's what I go for. Bubblehulk does withdraw Tangrowth, and he does go into the Aromatisse. So this was a pretty, pretty nice looking move here. Me for myself, and yeah, Steel Beam animation is so cool, by the way. Bronzong goes down, Aromatisse goes down, and we have a Meowstic in against the Dragalge, trying to Shadow Balls, and we just can't wake up. So yeah, but that's okay. Now I'm in a position where we, I should say, kind of in this like middle ground here, right? So I go into Bubblehulk solely because I'm concerned about the Tangrowth coming back in, and if I feel like if I can take out the Tangrowth, then Vaporeon should be able to win in the end. It's pretty especially offensive, Life Orb, Vaporeon, and it's got quite a bit of special bulk as well. So I really felt like if maybe I could get like a Reflector or a Light Screen, just something to give me a bit of extra bulk, I'd do pretty well here. So the Tangrowth goes for a Rage Powder, which is fine. The Meowstic stays asleep, which is annoying or whatever. And the Bug Buzz comes out, eats Tangrowth for breakfast. So that's really nice. Unfortunately, yeah, as I say, Meowstic doesn't get to wake up and goes down to a Shadow Ball. So now we have the Dragalge, we have Vaporeon and Bubblehulk both at full health. We have no screens up, and a lot of the calcs I did this week were screens oriented. So yeah, what can you do? It's kind of tough. But anyway, I feel in this position that actually I need to find out whether that Metagross, because Metagross is going to have a Steel move, it's going to have Protect, and it's going to have either a Rock or a Ground move. So I wanted to find out which. I would know if he went Quake into Vaporeon, it's going to be Ground. And if he hit the Bubblehulk, there's a good chance of it. With the Reflect Up, Bubblehulk is going to survive the Rock Fall here, even if the Metagross is like Life Orb. But I don't have a Reflect Up, so yeah. Bubble goes for Dynamax, he fixes the Hunko and his Karate Kit. Also, I don't know if you guys know, Rhett does Karate. Rhett's one of the admins who's really good at Karate. And he also throws knives at people quite often. I've seen him do it. It's really good at knives. Even though he won't teach me how to do it. Whatever. So we go big. Metagross underspeeds the Vaporeon, which is bad news for me, to be perfectly frank. I double into the Dragalge here. Because I wanted to make sure I take it out. In hindsight, that was a mistake, and this poison is really, 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 really bad news. Bubblehulk gets dismantled by this Rock Fall. I'm thinking, yeah, that's kind of likely. But now I know the Metagross has Rock Fall, and I'm thinking I'm in a pretty good position here. Because what I can do is hit the Metagross next turn. I've seen its Life Orb, so it's not weakness policy. I can hit it next turn, and then I can try and stall out the Trick Room and outspeed it. And I should be okay, and I should seal up this game. However, looking at the poison damage I'm taking on top of the hail, I realise I'm in kind of a bit of trouble, and there's 2 turns of Trick Room left. So I need to try and hope that I get a crit here. The Phantasm does too much damage, which is a real shame, because again, so if I hadn't been poisoned here, what I could have done is gone for Geyser, which would have then got rid of the weather, and I then could have max guarded the next turn, which would have meant I was totally safe to then stall out the last turn of Trick Room and take it. But unfortunately, I wasn't poisoned, and little baby Vaporeon goes down, and Bubblehulk takes game 1, and in what was a absolutely fantastic game 1, and really, to be honest, set the tone for the rest of the match, which is pretty cool. So yeah, game 2, I'm thinking, how can I adjust? I felt that even though, and I know it seems kind of weird because I coming into against a team with Dragalge. I don't know if it's called Dragalge or Dragalge, by the way, but I'm saying Dragalge, and if you don't like that, then you can eat my shit. It's, yeah, Dragalge, Aromatisse, and Tangrowth, and even Metagross as well. Like, I felt that, like, the Bronzong should be good, but it just felt, I don't know, it felt like now he knew it was weakness policy, the kind of surprise element was gone. You know, he's not going to trigger it, and it was clearly not hitting hard enough. So I figured, what can I do to kind of maybe change that around? Meowstic needed to come, and I think essentially my game plan became, at this stage, what I need to do is I need to remove Tangrowth as soon as I can to allow Vaporeon to win in the end as much as possible. Or the other option would be, I know now that this Tangrowth has got Rage Powder, it's got Sleep Powder, it's got Brick Break, and then for all like intents and purposes, it's going to have a Grass move last, right? Which means Vikavolt is always going to win against it. So, game one, helped me find a couple of win cons, which is pretty nice. So he goes around the Teeth Metagross. I decided to leave Meowstic Vaporeon, so I had a little bit more kind of offense up front. Now, knowing what I knew with the speed tiers as well, it meant I was kind of free to go for a Reflect. It was actually Gemma's idea. So I had considered a Fake Out here, and Gemma said, well, no, remember we were so annoyed that the Vaporeon was faster. So, yeah, we decided to go for a Reflect here, thinking the Aromatisse probably isn't going to do anything, it's not going to Trick Room. And then we were free to just launch an attack into the Metagross, again knowing its weakness policy. So Shadow Ball comes out into this Tangrowth and does a really nice little chunk. And we also get the Special Defense drop, which is really, really good as well. So that kind of started this game off on a really nice foot. It allowed Meowstic to set up another screen here. However, we had a bit of discussion thinking that at this stage Trick Room is almost certainly going to go up now the Fake Out's gone. I decided to go for the Ice Beam into Tangrowth because, again, I just wanted to cover off in case the Tangrowth stayed in, which it almost certainly wasn't going to. But in case it did, it would just give us a really nice chunk of damage. Bubble here goes into the Dragalge, which is really, really nice to me. And I'm not going to lie to you, at this stage, my thought was, well, you know what? This Dragalge is not going to pick up either of these KOs because the Vikavolt is Assault Vest and Vaporeon is pretty bulky. So we can just fire off maybe a Flash Cannon into that slot, and then we're kind of free to do like something with the other slot. I suggested a Shadow Ball to cover the Aromatisse. Gemma said go for a Protect. So we went with Gemma's plan, went for the Protect, and it turns out to be the right decision. Aromatisse has Heal Pulse, which is really friggin' annoying. I guess in hindsight what we could have done is maybe gone for an Ice Beam into the Dragalge slot, take it out there and then. However, what we did do was avoid poison damage into Vaporeon, which is huge, because we didn't want any chip on Vaporeon if we could avoid it, and also just didn't want it to get friggin' poisoned again. So I decided this time that we're in relatively no danger because we've got a pretty safe switch into Golurk. We've got Protects available to us. Vikavolt's in just no danger whatsoever from anything other than Metagross. So I figure let's allow Aromatisse to just keep on healing up. Vikavolt enters Flash Cannon into Aromatisse, which does over half, which is really nice damage. The Sludge Bomb comes out into Golurk, we don't take anything near like enough damage. And now it's kind of a waiting game, right? Of how long can we stall out this Trick Room? My instinct in this scenario was that Aromatisse had to Protect, because you can't really afford for Aromatisse to go down and then Dragalge to take like a high horsepower from Golurk, right? Like that just couldn't possibly happen. So I decided maybe the best thing to do in this scenario was protect Golurk, get a little bit more chip on the Dragalge, because the Aromatisse has to Protect. That was the thinking. Just to kind of, and again it helps to stall out the Trick Room turns, right? As it turns out, Aromatisse doesn't Protect, it goes for a Moonblast into the Vikavolt, which does a surprising amount of damage actually. And I guess essentially a misplay for me because I got the read wrong. We could have taken out Aromatisse there and then, which would have been super, super nice. This turn, Aromatisse really can't do too much because it's kind of stuck at this point, right? There's no point in it. There's no point in it protecting because it will just get bopped next turn by whatever comes in. I realise at this stage also that once Trick Room is done, everything I have apart from Vikavolt is going to be faster than Metagross, so I keep Golurk in the back to deal with Metagross or Dragalge in the end when Trick Room is done. The Aromatisse is not protected, it does not switch, so the Flash Cannon comes into it and takes it out. Which leads me to believe, I think, at this early stage, that we're probably in a pretty good spot. Shadow Ball comes out, Meowstic survives because Meowstic is just the best dang kitty cat you've ever seen in your life. I don't have that verified, but I'm pretty sure it is true. So Metagross comes out next, and I'm now aware that it's carrying the Rockfall, so Vikavolt is not safe. However, my kind of thinking is, to be honest, I can bring in, now I know that Metagross is so slow, right? Like if the situation needs, I can bring in Golurk to smack it. I can bring in Vaporeon and smack it because I'm going to have a speed advantage and he has no more way, great English, Sam. No other way of getting Trick Room back up again. So I'm feeling pretty confident. I go for the Light Screen because Dragalge's got damage and Tangrowth might have damage later on. Metagross Rock Slides, which does a bit more damage than I'd like, to be honest with you. But you know, such is life. The Light Screen here coming in absolutely clutch. Vikavolt hangs on and gets a big Thunderbolt off into the Metagross. And I'm now in, like I say, a really nice position here. I don't think it matters which way round I do this. I don't think anyway, because Vaporeon's going to go first. I feel like his best method for winning this game at this stage is going to be the Tangrowth, right? Like that's almost certainly going to be the best option. I also know that there's no way that Vikavolt is going to survive this turn. So I feel like this is the safest play, mostly because if I can get rid of Metagross, the only damage he's got left is special damage, right? At least so I think. In hindsight, looking back at this now, knowing that the Tangrowth was Wake Break and that it only had one other offensive move, it would probably make sense that the Tangrowth was physical. So me setting up the Light Screen and trying to play out this way is probably not the best idea. However, I still felt confident that this would be a kind of a good win. Reflect wears off here, and looking at how the game's panning out, my only thought is if I can remove Tangrowth, then Golurk can win in the end. And even if not, I'm thinking if I can just damage Tangrowth, if I can get it down to like 25, 20%, then maybe, like just maybe, if he lets the stuff on the field survive long enough, and maybe there's a chance I'll get away with winning with Golurk in the end. So he protects the Dragalge, which seals up the game essentially, because I get the Hailstorm off here, which does a huge chunk of damage, and now that Dragalge is protected, there's like zero chance that it means I'm getting my Bubblehulk off, and Tangrowth is not taking this. Now I see, and looking back at this, I have no idea whether it's physical or special. I guess I'll have a look at the face. The Bubble comes in later, but the Bug Buzz comes in, takes out the Tangrowth, and yeah, I'd be interested to see one way or the other whether or not whether or not it was physical or special. It'd be interesting to know. So this Golurk is very physically defensive, and also we know it's going to be faster than Dragalge. It is no guard with Puzzle Fan Poltergeist, so yeah, pretty happy that this game was sealed up. I think what you'll notice in both of these first two games is it really could have gone either way. So if we've also done a better sugar berry. In game 1 I get poisoned, I win. Game 2, I think if Bubble was protected Dragalge there, then I would have had to deal a lot of damage with Poltergeist with Golurk. And after the Hail Chip, although the Hail Chip's negated by the grass, I guess. So, you know, reality, I think there's a good chance I lose that game. Partly, I think I misplayed in earlier turns, like just sort of using soft flash cannons into Dragalge and just thinking it's not going to do anything. But we managed to pick it up, so yeah. And also thanks to a couple of really good calls from Gemma and protects and stuff as well. So yeah, going into game 3, I really don't know what to do. Like, there's the temptation to bring Rapidash, because I feel like Scrafty has to come now, right? You know, we've used Golurk, we've used Meowstic, we've used Bronzor, and Scrafty has to be coming on. So I feel like Rapidash would do really nicely, especially as we don't have weakness policy Metagross, so it can hit Metagross, Tangrowth super effective with fire moves, and it also had bounce, so we could get airstreams going, thinking that maybe he wouldn't go Trick Room this time. However, I was just too scared about the Clawitzer. The Clawitzer just seemed to really... The Clawitzer felt like it was a kind of... It made Rapidash unbringable, essentially. It also did make me question whether to bring Golurk again, to be honest, because I felt like if Clawitzer came in here, we could have been in trouble. Luckily, the Vikavolt is Assault Vest for just that reason, and so I decided to go with the same team again. It did well last time, and I didn't feel necessarily the need to change it. Now, coming up is probably the pivotal turn in the match. So, I've been sort of saying stuff to Gemma. I'm not that confident in max formats. I haven't played them in a while. And I was saying to Gemma about, oh, maybe we should try and make a really great read, and we might be able to bop the Metagross this turn. Maybe we should go for the Metagross this turn. Maybe we could bop it with a big max Phantasm, and that would be really good. We can fake out the Tangrowth, and we can match Phantasm and the Metagross. We might be able to pick it up in the first turn. If we can pick it up in the first turn, we can just try and blow through the rest of the team with Vaporeon. And Gemma said, well, are you sure? Why don't we just try and be careful? So I thought, you know what, okay, well, let's just Ice Beam the Tangrowth. If it doesn't match, we're going to hit huge damage. Sure enough, Bubble withdraws the Metagross into the Scrafty. So the Phantasm is going to do absolutely jack shit to the Scrafty. And yeah, Tangrowth goes big. So we essentially would have lost the game on that turn. If we had had a match like Vaporeon, there's no way to come back, I don't think. I genuinely, I know like people say there's always a way to come back, but I really don't think there's any way to come back. Ice Beam and Fake Out do combine like about 45%, I would think, and they're falling defend the overall. However, what I now know is that I am guaranteed to win this kind of max showdown by maxing Vikavolt early doors, and I also know that if I can remove the Scrafty, then I can win in the end with Golurk into Metagross. However, I now make this is terrible turn because Tangrowth has to protect here. I had every ability in the world to go straight into the Scrafty here and deal some damage to it, or if anything switched in on it. And I decided against it. I thought, you know what, like the big reads are not necessary at this stage. Like, I know we're a Mon down, but we're a Dynamax ahead. In hindsight, I should have just gone for it. I should have been confident to go for it, because this looks like it's such an obvious max guard from Tangrowth here. However, you know, in the moment, sometimes I just don't get these things right. And this is one of those times. I did not get it right. Tangrowth gets the max guard. However, I still now know the next turn I can get it. I can put that together. We have a Reflect up. And that's key. The Light Clay and the Reflect are key in this game now, because I know that at this stage I've worked out that Tangrowth is physical, Metagross is going to be physical, Scrafty is going to be physical, so I go for the Light Screen in case there's something else in the back, because realistically Meowstic's not doing so much here. So yeah, Meowstic gets the Light Screen out, so we're just, we're behind a couple of screens, we're feeling okay. Metagross goes for a Rock Slide. It doesn't do too much to Meowstic, it doesn't do loads to Vikavolt either, and the Overgrowth comes out from the Tangrowth, and we take that like a champ. You can't see the bar here because my stuff's all the way. We take out the Tangrowth, and so we're now 3-all, we've got our screens up, Vikavolt's not taking too much damage, and essentially we're just in this, we're going to be in this end game again of trying to kind of shape up how we can deal with like Metagross at the end. Right? Like, I know he doesn't bring out Scrafty here, but I was really hoping Scrafty comes out and we can just try and hit it as hard as possible. So the other reason not going for that Lightning at an earlier stage was a bad idea, is because this turn we would have had Electric Terrain up, right? So if we'd have had Electric Terrain up this turn, then I can't remember. I feel like Lightning is it the user has to be grounded or the opponent has to be grounded? I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't have large amount. I should probably know this. Dragalge takes over 50% from the from the Psyshock, and Rock Slide misses from the outside, which is pretty nice. Dragage gets the Sludge Bomb, Vicbolt does very negligible damage to Silvest. Metagross clings on here, which is really bad. Really bad indeed. And Vicbolt comes down to Baby Form. So, this turn, I feel like Dragalge has to protect. There's no universe in which Dragalge does not protect, because it just has to, right? If you don't protect Dragalge here, I take it out, and then we can take out the Metagross as well. So, instead what I decide to do is go for the Psychic into Metagross to pick it up, because it's going to be faster than Vicbolt. And he doesn't protect Dragalge, which is kind of annoying. And I went for the Thunderbolt because I thought the Dragalge needs to protect or swap, right? But obviously, as we see here, it does not do so. We get the Thunderbolt off, and it doesn't do enough. Dragalge is pretty special, so there's no really do enough here. So this endgame is tough. It's really tough because I know that I need to kill Scrafty, but I also know that I've got Golurk in the back. Now Golurk is really physically bulky, like I say, so it's not the end of the world. I know Meowstic's going to move first. Meowstic's going to be the fastest thing on the field, so I'm safe to go for a Side Shot. I go for a Discharge just in case it's funny business, but then I decide no. Just give a Thunderbolt. Scrafty is scarfed into Throat Chop. This is both good and bad news, right? Because it's good news because it means we know what it's going to be using. B, it's bad news because it means it's a dark move into the Golurk. However, like I said, Golurk is really physically bulky, and if Scrafty is scarfed, then it has to be relatively, relatively not powerful. So I know here I'm safe to go for the high horsepower into Dragalge, which is always going to take it out. I can give the Thunderbolt to Scrafty, knowing I'm safe from the Throat Chop. At least I know I can take at least one from the Scrafty, and I'm kind of hoping with the Reflect Up maybe I can take two. I'm unsure. Bubble might protect here. There's all sorts of stuff that he might try and throw out our way. But again, I feel like the odds are kind of in our favour unless the protect goes wrong. But yeah, Vicbolt goes down, and we do manage to get the high horsepower off into the Dragalge, which is really nice. In hindsight, what I probably should have done is attack the Scrafty here, but I felt like, I don't know, I just in the moment sometimes you just feel like there's a certain read coming, and I felt like the Scrafty might protect. So anyway, we have 2 more turns of Reflect, which is really nice. So I go for high horsepower. I think high horsepower kills him here, but I'm not really sure. And Scrafty lands a Throat Chop, and it doesn't even do 50%. So yeah, we're really safe. High horsepower comes out. Now it's the Scrafty, and Gemma and I managed to pick up the first win in the VBA. We managed to even up our record against Bubble. But honest to God, it was absolutely great set, and thanks Bubble for really awesome matches. Yeah, it was so much fun. So yeah, next week, I think next week we take on Leaf, who's also one of the really strong coaches in this division. So that's going to be really fun. I hope he's also a really good friend, and yeah, let's see how we go. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll speak to you soon. See you later.